The 3 O's of JE Vaccination, a mnemonic for vaccine use. Welcome to an educational mini-module series on Japanese encephalitis, or JE. These are intended to take only a few minutes to review. In this module, we will discuss a mnemonic memory device to assist you with counseling travelers to Asia about JE vaccination. Here is the mnemonic to help you remember who may require the JE vaccine. We call it the 3 O's of JE vaccination: ongoing travel, outdoors, and other plans. You may recall from other modules that JE risk is about exposure to mosquitoes who carry the JE virus. Each O defines an itinerary that increases the risk of exposure to JE through mosquito bites. The first O is for ongoing, as in ongoing travel. Frequent travelers, long-term travelers, and those taking up residence require vaccination. Ongoing travel is intended to describe individuals who the CDC has determined to be at increased risk for JE due to longer potential exposure to the mosquito carrying the JE virus. The specific categories of travelers include people relocating to endemic countries, people traveling to endemic countries for extended periods, for example, a month or more, and frequent travelers to endemic countries. The frequent travelers is a new group the CDC has identified due to their cumulative risk of exposure over repeated trips to endemic countries. For instance, a business traveler who takes repeated week-long trips over a few years may have a comparable risk to a traveler taking one long trip to an endemic country. You should note that no specific duration of travel puts a traveler at risk for JE, although longer-term travel increases the likelihood that a traveler might be exposed to an infected mosquito. The data on this slide reminds us that time, as in ongoing travel, is but one risk factor for JE. The highest incidence of disease has been reported among longer-term travelers. These include people relocating to JE endemic areas, like military members and their dependents, or expatriates, as well as those on a prolonged stay in Asia, like college students on study abroad programs. However, at least a third of reported JE cases occurred in travelers who were in JE endemic areas for a shorter period of time. This included tourists and business travelers who were not on very low-risk itineraries, such as short-term travel that was limited to urban areas. The CDC guidance on which travelers should receive JE vaccine needs to be interpreted for each traveler and trip, because risk to the traveler depends on a set of unique circumstances that are dynamic and may vary in importance during the trip. This brings us to a discussion on the next 2 O's. The second O is for outdoor travel. Travel during the outdoor season or spending time outdoors or participating in outdoor activities are all factors that increase the risk of mosquito exposure and therefore increase the risk of JE. The outdoors also include spending time in accommodation that lets the outdoors in because of a lack of screens, air conditioning, or bed nets. Outdoor travelers require a careful evaluation of risk and an individual assessment for vaccination. The third O is for other plans. Risk is also increased for travelers who are uncertain of their destinations, activities, or travel duration. For example, a business traveler on a very low-risk itinerary, like a trip to Hong Kong for a few days with modern accommodation, is unlikely to require vaccination. However, vaccination may be very appropriate if that same business traveler is considering taking a weekend excursion between meetings and is uncertain about his or her destination. Remember the 3 O's: ongoing travel, outdoors, other plans, and you should be prepared to put guidance to practice. Thanks for listening. Please find additional educational mini-modules about JE and its prevention, along with other resources for clinicians and travelers on www.preventje.com.